It's She-Hulk. We are all looking really happy about this review. We're all really glad to be here and talk about a great show. I mean, like, you've got Nick's mind's background is just blank to say what he wants to say. Tony's living in the past with the Avengers, and I think Nathan is just absolute adoration for the show, obviously, having a poster behind him. And I think this could be an interesting discussion as to what is going on in the world of She-Hulk. We are probably about 2 episodes away from it being absolutely done. If you could give us, just would you pass yourselves round and tell us maybe like 3 words what you think of the show so far? And I'll go with Nick. What do you think of the show so far?
Utter effing dribble.
Tony?
No real clue.
Oh. And Nathan?
Complete fucking pish.
I tried to sugarcoat it.
I genuinely thought we were just going to get pish. That's what I was expecting there.
No, it's worse than that, mate. No.
So we're just going to quickly just batter through all the different things that have happened so far. I mean, is there characters like, I mean, we've got Wong, who's appeared multiple times, who Jen has broke the fourth wall and said is Twitter armor. That's absolute bullshit because it's still pish, even with Wong. And you've got characters like Madison, who've been introduced, who seems to be really popular. But let's find out if it's remotely popular with any of the Geekified hosts.
How does this show get 88% on Rotten Tomatoes?
I don't think it has any more.
No, good. Fucking hell.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much gone. It's dropped a hell of a lot already, as far as I'm aware. So
unless people thought they were watching GTA 5 because of how bad the animation is in it, maybe.
It's a fair point, to be honest. So let's talk about that. That's one of the first topics I wanted to bring up. Is there was a massive scandal at the start of the show when it started, which was the Uncanny Valley. We talk about, and I'll give you my opinion first. It's still freaking terrible. It's absolutely awful. I mean, I've not done episode 5. I'm sorry, I'm not keeping up to date because I don't care that much about it. And it is episode 4 was the one when we met Madison, and it's literally just finished half an hour ago for me. And I'm sorry, like, there was one moment of the CGI where it feels as if they've got to a point of where they had enough time, maybe to correct and fix a bit. Which is where she's carrying the guy and then does the whole Tinder chat thing, which I think is so dated for a TV show regardless. It's like the talking about Tinder and lives of people is just a days gone by era. It's really, really just pathetic to bring that up, to be honest. But I felt like the CGI in that scene alone was really good. They managed to nail it. The rest of it, absolutely garbage. Nathan?
All terrible, mate. There's just so many things that annoy me about this program. Even the smallest little things, like when she's Jennifer Walters, she's got short curly hair, right?
Mm-hmm.
If she's She-Hulk, suddenly it goes all straight and fucking long.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking stupid, isn't it? Why? For what reason? Just so she looks like the comic book character. Just make Jennifer Walters have longer, straighter hair. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make any sense. And then what is the point of all the other characters in the law office? I have no idea. What is the point in having bloody Wong come into it? I didn't see the point in him in it at all, other than just to get people to watch it. Madison, who gives a flying shit about Madison, you know. And then, I mean, I thought Emil Blonsky as Abomination was going to be good, and they try. I don't know. I mean, I think it's so ridiculous that in all their serious shows they try to put humor in, which can be quite funny, and then this one they tried to make it a sitcom, and I haven't laughed once in the whole show.
I've got to say that I did actually. I've laughed once, and it was one line.
How bad it was? How bad it was?
Yeah. I've laughed once, and that was one line, and that was the extra little bit with Megan Thee Stallion at the end, where she just says an off-the-cuff line, and she said, "I will kill for you," but it was just said so well that it was funny. It wasn't actually, for me, a particularly hilarious line. It just worked in that moment. Tony, what's your thoughts
on the CGI?
Everything.
I mean, one, they would have been better just painting her green, like the original TV series.
Yeah.
To be honest, it would have been far, far better. 2, I don't see where all this is going.
Yeah.
3, I don't know. I'm just perplexed by it all. I really don't see what the point of doing it was, where they've cast an amazing, in my regards, an amazing actress, and they should have saved her and placed her in maybe like a movie or something like that instead of wasting it. And,
Yeah, I think
and actually, I'll go even further than that, than ruining it and spoiling it, and maybe probably ruining her career.
yeah, I
not
very
bad.
much
I
agree with you. Tatiana Maslany is Orphan
incredible.
Black is by far one of the best sci-fi TV shows of I know. It's up there in my top 10 of all sci-fi shows. If you've not seen it, please take a little bit of time, go out, watch it, give it a few episodes, you'll get right into it. It's a great story. It's really well made. It's an Australian production, and she's incredible in it. And then she's taken on this. She's now been burned like ridiculously. This is going to taint her, I feel. And I agree with you, Tony. Like, I mean, like, why bother with all of it? What's the point? What's the story? Where is it getting us? The whole point of this Marvel stuff that we love is the continuality of everything.
The only point I can see in it is that and all the Easter eggs are introducing characters. That's the only point I can see in it. They mentioned there's a thing about Wolverine, there's a thing about Deadpool, there's a thing about somebody else. And that's the only point I can see in it, is just to bring this whole universe together, which just seems a bit. And there was obviously the hint about Daredevil in the last one with the new mask, but I don't understand why you don't just have Daredevil in it. You know, he's a lawyer. It's a lawyer show. You know.
I mean, just the main thing about me, like, I get, I don't need to like every single thing that Marvel does, being a Marvel fan. I know that. I'll hate some things and I love other things, and vice versa. We'll agree and disagree on certain things. But again, I'm going back. It's the CGI is so bad. If Disney and Marvel, or even the team they've got together, can't pull off the CGI or don't have the ability or the technology to do it with the budget, don't bother doing it, because it's like any medium, be it theater or film or television. If something keeps bringing you out of the reality, I'm watching it, and it's great seeing all the characters, but I'm just, every time I'm going, it's as if Marvel doesn't care, or Disney.
Yeah.
I was like, well, if you don't care, why should I care about this? Regardless, if the CGI was good, I'll go, yeah, it was still rubbish, but it was good that they did that and I got to see She-Hulk. But the fact that CGI is so bad and it's like the script as if they're just making it up on the spot, I'm just like,
yeah,
you don't even care for this.
Yeah. What are you saying, Nick?
Oh, I just think the whole thing's pretty much garbage. I feel for her, because like I'm sitting there waiting for Charlie Cox to turn up just so I can see him come back as Daredevil, which, to be honest with you, for our own show, that shouldn't really be the case. You should be watching it for obviously the main character of the show, but you're more interested in what cameos are coming up to kind of relieve you of the slow pain that you're going through watching it. I think it's a combination of Marvel doing too much and pulling the special effects companies left, right, and centre to doing too much now. So I think that's where the knock-on effects came in with how bad the CGI in it is. Obviously, the Tatiana is, I think she's doing what she can with the garbage that she's been given. The retconning of the Edward Norton stuff as well, prodding fun at that could have, did make me laugh slightly, but that's more out of nostalgia than anything else. But
yeah, exactly.
I think it's one of these things, like, if you're going to do it right. If you're going to have her do a TV show, at least pay the character enough respect to do it properly. I just think it's becoming a filler building block TV show, so they can filter in all these different characters for the stuff in the later phase that they're doing with Daredevil and whatever, everything else they're doing after that.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't think it's that good. And like with Megan Thee Stallion and all that, it's 2022 woke utter garbage that, to be honest with you, it is just dying a so painful death with every episode. I've laughed twice, the Edward Norton stuff, and then the 5th episode, obviously, when they're dressed up with all the fake Avengers stuff and all that. I found that a bit funny, but apart from that, couldn't tell you the last time I laughed in it. And it's meant to be comedy. It's really bad.
I fully agree with this, because at the end of the day, like we're supposed to be. This is billed as a comedy, and I'm not laughing. I'm not finding it funny. I've got to say, like, and I said to you guys on our group chat, like when I watched the first episode, I enjoyed the first episode, but I just enjoyed it because I didn't really know where it was going. I thought this could be good. I thought it's got a lot of potential. I could see where it could have went, and it just freaking didn't. It just didn't get anywhere. It didn't get any traction. It became as a mishmash. So to go on what we were initially told before this came out, there was massive publications reviewing stuff saying that people had seen clips of it, and apparently it was a car wreck. It was trash. It was terrible. But how come now that even when we were given this knowledge previously, saying that She-Hulk is absolutely trash, it's delayed, it's not working, how is it still getting good reviews? What is the reason for getting these? It's still getting good reviews off people.
Because it ticks the Hollywood woke stuff, doesn't it? You know, female lead.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is. You know, it probably appeals to people that don't watch Marvel stuff because it's more of a courtroom drama / comedy than a superhero thing. The first episode was more superhero because they had the bit, obviously the Hulk they get blasted by that spaceship. You know, which they never explain.
Yeah, well,
then obviously the Hulk's gone off probably to try and find it. But that's probably going to lead in. That's probably going to lead into we're talking about maybe World War Hulk currently, or Planet Hulk for that. But I just sort of think I don't get it. I mean, the breaking the fourth wall stuff, is that from the comics or is it something that's put in?
Yeah, that's one of the few things that I completely understand. Is like we've got another reviewer on the channel, Mark, who was discussing saying this. He wasn't sure about it and stuff. But going back to She-Hulk was one of the ones that when I was younger I picked up and looked at and had a bit because it was like Deadpool. So she broke the fourth wall. She talked about it, and I quite like that concept. I like the concept in Deadpool, so I thought this could be good. It wasn't. It still wasn't.
I don't think it happens enough. I don't think it happens enough in it. I think
that's one thing I will agree with. Is like in the comic book, she directly references how the audience are feeling consistently through the comic. She makes a lot of jokes. Some of them are very un-PC now, but that's just to do with the fact it was 20, 30 years ago when it was out. It just doesn't align with today's analogy. Therefore, should not be cancelled. Yeah, take that how you will. But I think like it should have been more. I completely agree with you, Nathan. It should have been a lot more.
Well, I hope they actually reference the bad CGI. Hope she turns around. It's like Deadpool did in his first film and went, look, we couldn't afford the rights to X-Men, so this is why we've got these two characters, and I'm sorry, we're on a budget. Do that, and then it might bring me back into the show.
Yeah, it probably would. Nick, what are you feeling about the reviews so far? I mean, we have literally just spent 15 minutes just ripping it apart, but yet there's still a lot of people reviewing it really well.
Probably paid reviews, mate, if it's anything. I think it's one of these things where it's been negative for pretty much the full run from when it's been announced all the way through. It's just been negative upon negative. So I think probably somebody's been given a couple of backhanders to have some paid positive reviews on it.
Yeah.
Because I just don't see where the positivity comes from unless it's some mental feminist group that's, plowing it full of positive reviews, because there isn't really much positive about it. Like, even looking at it subjectively, it's just nothing positive about it. So I generally don't know. I think it's the paid reviewers to do it, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a good point. It is more than likely to be something like that. There is a lot. It does seem to be like obviously Marvel's got enough money to fund enough people to go in and say this kind of stuff. So basically, after we've had all these positive reviews and something happened, I think it wasn't last weekend, the weekend before, the D23 Expo, where we had Kevin Feige back up. And as Jen would break the fourth wall and she said she had a little bit of Twitter armor by bringing someone like Wong in, I think Feige is pulling out his armor and bringing up his Twitter armor by referencing something that he pulled out the bag in this little clip. And that is Avengers. He announced the closing of Phase 6 to be 2 Avengers movies. Didn't tell us anything else that happens in between it. Do we think, because I'm going to say that I do, and this is why I'm asking, do we think that this is Feige's Twitter armor? Do you think that he has used the use of bringing in and announcing that there was going to be 2 Avengers movies, which is the old school. It's the OG for us. This is the stuff that we look forward
But
to.
it's not though, is it? Because it's not going to be the ones from the first films, is it? It's going to be the crap ones, the crap versions of the Avengers. So I think Marvel's oversaturated with what they're doing. They're releasing far too much stuff, and I think if they, I think they need to slow. I mean, they're still making money, obviously. I think they need to slow it down. Why do you need to release 6 films and 4 TV shows every year? That's too much.
Disney Plus. I
You know-
knew Disney would be the ruin of Marvel.
I don't think necessarily Disney. I think Kevin Feige's in charge of Marvel Studios. He needs to just say no, we're not doing
Yeah,
that.
but it's content. Disney are going, look, we're helping. you
Why not
funding.
do what they're doing with Daredevil and make an 18 episode arc show?
Mhm.
The 18 with Daredevil, something like that, isn't it? Or 20.
It's
so why not
they've announced it. It's huge. It's a massive amount of episodes.
It's 18. I'm sure it's 18.
Yeah.
But why not do it like that and build like we can release a 20 episode thing every year like they do on network television, or they can release 12 things every year. And I understand that, but I just think but the problem Marvel have got is to try and tie everything together as well. The only thing they didn't do it with was Moon Knight, and that's the best thing they've made since Endgame. Yeah.
But yeah,
Moon Knight was amazing.
let's reference when it hit you. Moon Knight is one of the lowest rated Disney TV shows that's came from Marvel. It's, this is what I mean. It's like somehow everything that we talk about. Sorry, Nathan.
But is that audience or critic review?
It's both. So this is what I mean. This references back to what we just discussed. Are people just getting paid to punt reviews? Because you're looking at 4 people here who absolutely love Moon Knight.
Maybe we're so disconnected from the world.
Yeah. Are we that disconnected that this channel that we are sitting discussing this, we think so differently? Or is it the fact that it's just pure lies that's out there in the reviews?
Or is it just a comparison to everything else that's out at the moment? There's not that much good on at the moment, I'll be honest with you. Like last year, there's been a few good shows made, but majority of it's been terrible, so and that's not just Disney, that's on all platforms. Netflix, some of the Netflix shows, I mean, last season of Umbrella Academy was terrible. The last season of The Boys wasn't great. There's all these things that were supposed to be, and then they're not as good. So maybe it's just in comparison to that. I don't know. I just think that Marvel have run out of the big characters.
Yeah, I think that for me,
smaller ones now.
I think it's a disconnection. I think one of the beautiful things about the Avengers was people coming together to unite as a team. What we don't have just now is people that are connected at all. We don't have. I mean, like we're literally talking about the Avengers are gone. The 2 of them are dead. The other one's in space. One was away with the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Well, 2 are in space now.
2 are in space. So we're all over the place.
Hulk's in space again.
Yep. So we're not going to get the original Avengers. I get that. So what we should get is the new Avengers, or still just call them the Avengers, whatever way we go. So it's going to be the new Avengers or the Young Avengers. And the Young Avengers is what's happening with her, She-Hulk. You've got Haley Steinfeld is Kate Bishop.
Kate Bishop.
Yeah, and you've got, who else is there in the Young Avengers?
Shit versions of the old ones.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, we've got is it no? Yeah,
Ironheart. So it's all coming together, but we don't have a connection just now, and this is one of the biggest problems of what made Marvel for me successful.
Is that problem caused by the fact that I don't think so? How long has it been since WandaVision came out? A year and a half.
Well over a year now, yeah.
Yeah. So in that time, we've had WandaVision, Loki, Winter Pish Soldier Arm Bastard, Hawkpish, Miss Marvel, this, She-Hulk, Moon Knight. I mean, that's in the space of 2 years. We've had like 7 TV shows.
But seven TV shows are so disconnected.
And then how many films as well, in that time. Whereas before you used to get, at the start of it was like 1 or 2 Marvel films a year. So you could build to them and you could spend time on them. Whereas now what you've probably got the same number of staff doing it, but they're doing it over all this stuff. So it's the same as anything. If you just oversaturate it and you rather than they're concentrating on quantity rather than quality, if you ask me.
Yeah, I very much agree. It's for me, it's just a mess. Everything is just a mess just now, and it's not working. You've got a few iconic things that are working, and I'm not sure if Nick will agree with me on this, but I think you probably will. one of my favorite TV shows has ever been, and I mean ever, was Daredevil on Netflix and Punisher on Netflix. I am scared what is going to happen to Daredevil when it approaches now, given how pissed She-Hulk is.
I think we'll see obviously how his character starts out in She-Hulk, and I think that will give you the biggest clue of how that's going to go down. Obviously, they said it's a reboot, it's a season 1 and not a season 4.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's already been
I
said.
suppose they sort of brought him, but they sort of brought him in already, haven't they? And Spider-Man, to be interesting where it fits in the timeline.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, because he was still that referencing lawyer of Spider-Man, wasn't he?
Yeah. So but then if it's a multiverse thing, they could bring it in anywhere, couldn't they?
Yeah, exactly. So leading up from what Kevin Feige said, we're closing up with phase 6 with the 2 Avengers movies, one of them being Secret Wars, which is obviously a massive clue to everything that happened in Doctor Strange. You've got, God, I can never remember the terms that we use when 2 worlds collide. That's basically the whole story of what happens in the comic with Secret Wars, and you've got all these people fighting. So there's 2 worlds, and him and Clea are away doing all that stuff. But you've also got the next TV series. You've got, oh God, what's it called?
Secret Invasion.
Secret Invasion. Got totally blanked there.
The thing is, I think the trailer looked really good.
I
hope they keep it quite grounded, and they don't go fucking stupid with it.
But the massive, for me, the story of Secret Invasion it's the infiltration of our heroes. So this was Captain America, this was Iron Man. These were the Skrulls taking over all these iconic characters. We're not going to get them. We're not going to get Captain America. We're not going to get Iron Man. So what are we going to get in this? Whatever's coming up. But for me, the TV show was very edited. But for one of the things I want to talk about is She-Hulk. There's been a few relative points that have been brought up saying that there is Skrulls in She-Hulk. So is there any character you think so far that could possibly be a Skrull?
Oh crap! I know that much.
I forgot.
What's her name? The assistant.
Nikki.
Maybe even.
I think they're all Skrulls.
You know what? The Skrulls, they're the one that
She-Hulk.
I think She-Hulk is. I think She-Hulk is because when they get zapped at the start, and then they're sort of unconscious and come back. So I think Bruce is probably one. So maybe she isn't, but I think everybody else will be.
You never know, because this is where this could go. You don't actually know. We know for a fact. I mean, they have talked about it, and the reason they're not referencing it, but there's been leaks to say that there's going to be Skrulls in pretty much every show that we've seen so far, and that's the whole point of it.
Yeah, and I think they're going to sort of like sort of show how they were already in like Avengers and stuff as well, aren't they? They're talking about because what's her name? Kobe Smulders calls Nick Fury Nick instead of Fury, doesn't she, at one point in it? In Endgame, isn't it? Or Infinity? One of the two.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many leaks about it, so we're basically saying that there will be Skrulls in all the shows, and what we're watching right now, every show we're going to watch up until Secret Invasion comes out, there's going to be Skrulls, and after. So my money's on Nikki.
But they've already brought that in the end of WandaVision, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is part of the other problem is before they used to, in your pro-credit scenes on your final episode, there used to be a hint, and it'd be for like maybe two films ahead sometimes, right? What they're doing now, they're putting it in like that, and then it's 3 TV shows and 4 films before they get to it, and you've forgotten what the bloody thing was.
Yeah, exactly.
At the end of Thor, you got Hercules. That's probably going to be about 3 or 4 years away.
No, it's true. It's true. I think I quite like having someone like Hercules in it, and it's a great. I've totally forgot his name. He's the guy for Ted Lasso.
Brett Goldstein.
Brett Goldstein. That's it. Yeah, great actor. He's amazing in Ted Lasso. Emmy awarded twice now, I think, for the show. Excellent actor. I think he'll bring a lot of meat to the. Pardon the pun, obviously, because it's Hercules, but he'll bring a lot of meat to the role. I think he'll be very good.
Yeah, I agree.
So, what we're thinking about the end of She-Hulk? What's our opinions on how this is going to close, and do we care?
Who gives a fuck? I think there'll probably be a second season of it, but I don't really care anyway. All I care about is House of Dragons and Andor starting in 2 days' time.
Oh, okay, cool. Fair play. Tony, what are you thinking? End of She-Hulk? Do you care?
I want the whole building to get destroyed. Everyone gets killed. And she's left alone and she goes, okay, let's start again. And then we'll...
It's the most brutal thing I've ever heard Tony talk about a TV show.
Khan comes in and restarts reality for her,
Yeah. Yeah, Doctor Strange has had her in the, in a reality dream or something.
End of She-Hulk. What do you care? What do you hope's going to happen? Do you hope it just stops?
Maybe they'll do the Dallas thing and she'll be in the shower and wake up a year later.
It was
maybe she's still unconscious after the crash.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Please let that be. And actually, it's a good show.
No, the end of it, she's in a cab. Turns out, and it's Jake Lucky in the front, and he stabs her in the face. It's up Moon Knight season 2, yeah.
Well, this is pretty much closing the episode because I don't even know how to say.
One thing I want to mention about Kevin Feige, he built it up and built it up. He's going to announce the cast of Fantastic Four, and all he announced was the bloody director.
Yeah.
Wanker.
We're going to discuss. We're going to get a little bit more of the discussion episodes happening again. But inclusive of Fantastic Four, inclusive of the Kang Dynasty, of Avengers movie. There's a lot more going to come up in the future, and you've also got a really special interview coming up really soon as well with a certain person that we've interviewed. It's not quite ready yet because we're still editing it because he said a lot of bad things in it, and I'm not allowed to have it in it.
Do an 18 version. Dude, never.
Never. Him in trouble. He said
never beep that legend out.
Would get sued version.
Never beep that legend out. Free speech.
There'll be a pre-edit so we can all watch, and maybe I'll pay if anyone wants to watch the interviews where he says really bad things about really bad people. Special stream. But so may as well say it. Brian Cox interview. We managed to get Brian Cox, and he's getting interviewed by me and the other guy who's not here, Ryan. That's coming.
I love science. I love it.
Yeah, William Stryker. Got to interview William Stryker. Anyhow,
Logan Roy.
Last final words, anyone care?
I'll fart in the microphone if you want.
Just go back with the Doctor Strange portal to when it didn't exist.
Go back before that. Go back to the portals in bloody Endgame.
On your left.
At some point in time when it was Netflix shows and Disney Plus.
So sad. Nobody wants to close stuff like this when we say really bad things about Marvel shows, but that's where it's currently at. So that is She-Hulk, and I don't even know if we'll do a review at the end of it all once it's finished, because I don't think anybody gives a crap. You're more likely going to get our Brian Cox interview coming up. You're going to probably get a couple of episodes where we're discussing Andor, and probably a couple of episodes discussing either Lord of the Rings or House of the Dragon TV shows, because we all seem to be enjoying it. So there you are. Thank you very much for joining us, guys. Thank you, Nathan. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Nick.
Good to be back.
And we can do this all day.